So today's video is going to be a chatty tutorial Tuesday, so I'm going to be sort of trying out some new production. But, goodness, I'm so tired. This is like going up next week. I'm like pre-filming it, and I only just posted the last one like yesterday, so let's get some makeup on this face. Just using a brush. Sometimes I use a brush, sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends on what I'm going for, what I feel like, or whether I want to wet my hands or not. Just putting it all over my face just to make it my makeup application a bit smoother and it like last. Now I'm gonna I've just got that on the phone. This primer is so runny, it just gets everywhere. I do like it, so I would rebuy it. I'm not sure I massively like the consistency, but it does go on my face. Now I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation in the shade 112 Soft Beige. That's the shade I went for. It's too dark, as you can see on the back of my hand. It's where lightening drops come to the rescue. I use the shade F1, which is the lightest. These are the Revolution Pro foundation drops. You can also get darkening drops. These are so hard to use. Like, these are quite hard. So I just dip it back in to this bottle. And that's how I like get my perfect shade, because I find it quite hard to get a perfect shade. So I'm going to take this brush and just mix it. Not sure if this is going to be too light now. Wow, that's a good colour match. But I do need to blend it in more. Actually, that is a bit too light, actually, so I'm going to probably darken it a little bit by adding a bit more of my foundation. Just a tiny bit, just because that looks really light. I just want some kind of colour, rather than it to look a bit too pale. Like, I sort of like my perfect kind of shade, rather than just looking too pale, or like it's too light. So put that all over the face. I'm relatively good at makeup. I'm not like a pro at it, but I'm like relatively good. Like, some of my looks are pretty good, I would say. You're just putting it all over my face. Like Tutorial Tuesday, Chatty Tutorial Tuesday, I mean to say. Let's forget what they're called. I did 2021 on one side, I did my makeup, and 2022, I did my makeup on the other side. Editing, popping in to say, I do apologise for that mistake. I just speak so quickly, sometimes I do say things wrong. RAL filter foundation. I will put a wear test video up soon. And this is also too dark. It's only really the concealer I managed to match, so I'm going to get my concealer brush. pop that concealer under my eyes and on any parts I feel like I need to cover, because let's cover these dark circles. We sort of do this type of shape. And my skin's obviously not the clearest right now, so I just do that. And take my concealer brush. Just this brush here. So my real techniques, I do kind of put a lot of concealer under my eyes because I don't put any foundation under my eyes. Put some right around my nose. I'm going to blend some of this into my chin. So I always put some on my chin. And it just kind of makes my under eyes look quite smooth. And I just love the look of this base. Kind of quite a hydrating base while still being somewhat matte. So I'm going to take my powder that I have. It's my Maybelline Fit Me powder I go for. This is like the powder I go for on a regular basis. It's a powder brush. Oops, just sent it everywhere. Definitely like not the lightest shade of powder, but it is kind of works with this. Being darker than lighter. Not that I know much about makeup. I'm just aware that it's not the best, but definitely not the worst at it. Just apply it in the places that it's kind of needed. So then I'm going to move on to bronzer. So I'm going to get another facial brush and just do the bronzer on that bit. And I just pick up the bronzer, put a face like that. Did put quite a lot, but I found quite a good brush to blend it out. That is quite a lot of bronzer. It doesn't look that bad on camera, but it does look quite a lot in real life. And I just got foundation on my phone. Yeah, gonna have to wipe that. Luckily I have a screen protector, so problems like that aren't such a problem. I think that looks pretty good. Just need to make sure not to apply too much bronzer. That image in the corner is not good. I'd say it's bronzing. I'm not sure if it's like bronzing or contour as such. You could say putting it here is like that's contour, but I don't tend to contour. I'm going to take this brush and put some on my forehead, where I don't look too orange, because up here I can tend to look quite orange. It's just finding like the right brushes and techniques and stuff that can kind of work to prevent from looking orange. Then after that I move on to Blur 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 blush. That's a lot. In life, that looks very clown-like. But we'll save it.
A few moments later.
So I've got it off now, I'm just redoing it, like refixing it.
Editing me popping in to say, in fact, it just turns into a bit of a mess, like just a light, patchy mess
Fix it.
when fixing it.
It's like my foundation. Back on, that's so light. More foundation. Not doing very well here. Try and fix it, it just looks really odd. I put too much lightning drops in, so I'm just sorting it out. Trying to fix it. Not succeeding because I've kind of messed up my makeup.
Editing me can confirm, yes, you have messed up, but you do fix it in the end.
Sponge. See what I can do.
Editing me can confirm the sponge does fix everything, so you'll see me going in with the sponge.
I feel like that's a lot better. I'm just in with a sponge. It does look a little bit better now. I think if I put a lot more bronzer on, put the bronzer back on, might be fine. So I'm just going to dip back into my Maybelline City bronzer. Just try and get back in with that. And blend.
Blending, 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 blending. Doing some more blending, blending, blending.
Concealer in the places that need a little bit more.
Editing me can confirm we are getting somewhere, just making sure we don't mess up on the concealer.
Behind the bronzer. Not going very well today. This I think shows that makeup can go kind of out of your control. Like, I wasn't even bad application or anything, I just squeezed too much out. So then it's just re-bronzing. Trying to make it look a bit more even. I've used a lot of bronzer today. I'm going to go back in with blush. So it doesn't look quite like too patchy. And now I'm going to add some blah 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 blush. Get the blush brush. And it looks fine. Like you wouldn't even know an unblended patchiness is. Let's try and do it on the other side a little bit better this time. So, I've also been uploading more revision videos, so there is a revision with Slick playlist on the channel. If you go to playlists, that's the evidence there. Now I'm going to do highlight, so I'm going to start with the gorgeous glow stick. Like where it went the most patchy is where my highlighter generally I tend to put it. So now I'm going to take my highlighter brush and my powder highlighter and just
At least it doesn't look so much like a stripe this time.
Got a How to Revise Science coming today, hopefully.
There was a bit of a delay in how to revise science video coming because I lost the footage and then had to refilm it and then edit it and do all of that and make a thumbnail. But it is up on my channel, so go check it out.
Opening my notes can sometimes be the hardest thing, like the thing that takes the longest to do. Now I'm just adding some down my nose and on my like brow bone. I think it looks quite good having a bit of brow bone highlight. I quite like it because it kind of gives the placing for the powder highlight and makes it look a bit neater. I do look like a bit of a glow. But I do quite enjoy highlight. Yeah. Dirty beauty blender alert. Now I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. So I'm going to use my lid lock primer. It's gonna be like a year ago that I actually started doing more makeup and commentary content. It's almost gonna be like 2 years ago soon that in a couple of months that I started vlogging. I will have been vlogging for 2 years soon. Because I obviously didn't start everything sort of on the day that I started my channel. Like I wasn't doing like makeup and commentary and vlogs. Like the stuff all just came over time. Like I don't think like I only did at one point revision, next step vlogs. So I'm gonna do kind of more of a, I don't know what look to do. Might have a look in my palette, see if there's anything I kind of want to use. Then I'm gonna use some of, I'm gonna use these two palettes. I'm gonna take this shade here from the Jeweled palette, which I haven't used a lot of. Don't think I really do enough neutral looks. Like this is kind of more of a neutral palette. Okay, when I do looks like this. So probably not going to try most of the things out in my drawer because they're more for colourful looks. So I'm probably not going to try them out. Like I'm not even sure what I'm going to do for my lips. I might just wear a simple gloss. See at the end of the look what I've come out with. Now I'm just going to get my blend tool. Use this brush and just start blending. Blending, blending, blending. Blending, blending, blending. And it looks quite good. Admittedly, it just looks a bit of a patchy mess on the other side. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit more in.
Editing me can confirm that one side usually goes better than the other.
Try and make it right. So I'm now going to dip into, I'm going to do quite a darker eye look probably. Just deciding what to use next. To do like a brownie gold look. I think I might do my lower lash line first. take this brush and dip into here and go for this shade. Hardly use this shade in this palette. And I dropped the brush on the floor. So I've got that. I'm going to run it down with the last line. And maybe down my nose. That was just a joke, I'm just going to blend that out. But that usually is what happens. Luckily blending it is going away. Might just take a makeup wipe and dab it a bit. Not all round my nose. But I can be quite messy with these shadows, like these are quite powdery. The MUA formula always reminds me a little bit of what the Anastasia Beverly Hills formula is kind of like, or what's known for being like. Never used it. Never been sure because I only really like their Prism palette. Obviously Modern Renaissance is iconic, but I'm not really sure. Like I never have been sure about their brand. Like, if you watch any of my videos on them, like, you know I'm not always the most sure on them. Quite like the smudge and smoke of it, that it does look a bit chimney sweep vibes. Like, we will brighten it up. I'm gonna take this gold from in the palette and use that as like inner corner highlight, just to really try and brighten it up a little bit.
The inner corner, I always feels like it adds something to my makeup look.
What I'm gonna do, like, might do like a peach one, so I tend to use the peach quite a lot from here. And I'm just gonna run that along my lid. Right.
By the time I finished this makeup look, I was actually very happy with it.
It's been kind of busy recently.
At the end.
So these months have been quite busy. So a lot of these are quite pre-filmed because a week I'm not busy, I'm usually having to pre-film one of these. Because I still want them to go up every week, even if I don't have time to film. So early week, I feel like that will be the case. I always pre-film. So that's a bit better. Like, that looks a lot nicer. That looks a bit brighter, like that kind of works. Though, back to blending a bit more, just so it's a bit less. Now I'm gonna I think I might do a cut crease with this. Or do I just add shimmer? I feel like with MUA, I'm gonna do a cut crease. I was thinking of Barry M because of this shade. Definitely a different look to what I'd normally go for. Like you've seen the past 2 days. You've seen like the past day's look. Like I usually do stuff that's a lot more colourful. This is like a dark neutral look. I think I might use this. It's one of the shades in the cut crease, like this one. Or I might check and look at one of these. Might go in and use that one there and one in there. Just checking if that's a sparkle one. Just gonna dip my brush in. That's just made it look not the best.
You just need to add a brighter colour and it'll be fine, Editing Me says.
That I'm not sure whether that's worked or not. Quite dark.
Editing Me says yes, you have gone for a really dark look.
A bit dirty, so be careful where you apply it. It's going to be the better eye for a change. Then I'm going to spray my brush for the other one, I think. For MUA, their glitters, I don't always spray that every time. Just finding my makeup brush that I'm going to spray. That's why I'm just going to quickly do setting spray. Don't need too much of this today. So I'm just going to go into this. Shadow. And I've just picked up the purple. I do quite like it, even though it's quite messy, this line. Like, I do quite like it. I feel like it kind of works. And I just dropped my brush, pretty much. Like, I am very clumsy at times. Going around, trying to shape it a little bit. I feel like this might need quite strong eyeliner. So I'm going to use like my black pen eyeliner. Quite like eyeliner pens, I think they're my thing. This is going to need quite a strong eyeliner just to make it look a bit less like it's a mess. My eyeliner so I can... Also, I probably will use the silver one over the top. But we need a strong black liner. This did not go very well. I'm just going to go back in a bit and just try and fix it a little bit. It's typically the wing liner that I tend to go for. Now I'm gonna find that, and I think now I'm going to use silver just to brighten this up a little bit. That one didn't go on bad. And then I'm going to add some mascara just to really bold my eyelashes up. A bit more just so I'm going to do my new thing, combination of these two mascaras. I'm just going to do a bit of lip balm, I think, because my lips are quite chapped. So I'm going to use the, if I can get it out, the So Kissable lip balm. Just have the gloss, a bit of red ginger lips. Kind of like my lips, but better lip balm wise. So this is the final makeup look. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.